Good afternoon. Day before Thanksgiving 2023. Just wanted to send a quick message. Hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving and happy holidays. And then also, of course, since this is a channel and these are videos about addiction, I just wanted to take a couple minutes to acknowledge how difficult this time of year is for a lot of people. The holidays are one of the things that I've had many conversations about with my own therapist over the years, and she's very conscientious and always remembers to ask how I'm doing because she knows this time of year is particularly difficult for me. And I think it's okay to mention why. One of the reasons is that I'm not married, I have no kids, I have no family of my own, and I wasted all those opportunities in the past, and I feel sad about that. And I have a lot of regret and anger at myself for having wasted away all those opportunities to have made a family. I've met and dated several very high quality, nice ladies over the years, and I mean, not everything was my fault, but a lot of it, most of it probably was, and here we are. But as I always say, when you have a problem, you can do nothing about it or something, and this is part of the way I can deal with it is by sharing these things with other people and hopefully giving them some context and some ways to work through their own stuff. So part of it is selfless, and part of it's a little bit selfish. I need a space to be able to say these things because sometimes just doing it in therapy isn't enough. So both things can be true at the same time. But anyways, I digress. Other things that people may feel bad about regarding the holidays is not being there for their kids, not getting people presents because they were broke, having had, this is another one for me, is having had many falling outs and burnt bridges over the years. It's kind of hard to be showing up to Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner when there's people there that don't want you, or you may not have been invited at all, which in some cases was true for me in the past. 5-6 years ago, I was rolling around in the front yard with two of my cousins in a physical altercation during Christmas Eve. So, that one that was totally on me, as you might imagine. So, only in the last couple of years did I even start going back to family gatherings. I didn't see anybody for several years. That's just a recent example, but those types of things have been going on my entire adult life. There was one Thanksgiving where I was in the Army where I could have came home, and I didn't. I had Thanksgiving dinner at a Denny's by myself, right off base in Columbus, Georgia, and that was incredibly depressing. I mean, it was one of the most isolated and alone I've ever felt in my life. So yeah, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all the holidays can be particularly difficult for those of us that are in recovery or who are thinking about recovery or have been through a lot of the things that most of us have been through. And I just wanted to say that I hear you, I feel your pain, and hopefully somebody somewhere watches this and gets something out of it. And just remember to never give up. I was just talking to a guy, I just had an appointment with one of my participants, and there was another guy in the house who was really struggling. He's coming off of like 10 different substances plus gambling addiction, and I was telling him, like, there's going to be a lot of times where you have no motivation to do the required necessary work, and you have to figure out a way to do it anyways. You just have to. People don't, in this world, they often don't want to, or it's taboo to talk about willpower, but it is a real thing. And at the end of the day, when you don't want to do something, that's what being an adult, a mature, responsible person is about. You do the things you don't want to do, even though you don't want to do them. And the flip side of that is when you want to get high, you have to find the willpower to make yourself not do it. And look, it took me many years to get to where I am now to be able to say that. And I might have even been mad about hearing that in the past. And I can understand both sides. I have a unique position in this. But that's what it comes down to, y'all. You can do something about it or nothing. And we're gonna fail, but what matters is keep working at it. You don't just give up permanently and say, well, it's too hard or it's never gonna work. Like, we don't give ourselves conditional ultimatums, what I've coined, a phrase I've coined in grad school recently based on something else I was learning, is these conditional ultimatums that we give ourselves. Like, if this doesn't happen, then I'm going to do this, or if this does happen, then I'm not doing that. We don't need to make claims like that. We can just live our lives doing the next best thing, and be weary of giving yourselves conditional ultimatums. It's not a good idea, almost always. So anyways, with all that being said, for those of you out there that might watch this who are feeling lonely and isolated and maybe scared, regretful, all those sentiments that come along with addiction, there is hope. It is possible. You can do it. You just have to have the mentality of, I don't care what happens and I don't care how many times I fail. I am not giving up. I'm never going to quit trying. And if you have that attitude, eventually it'll stick and you will achieve long-term sobriety. So hopefully that's helpful. And everybody have a blessed Thanksgiving.